So let's take a look at an area question from the 2017 Leaving Cert Ordinary Level Paper 1. So it was question 5, and we were asked to use the trapezoidal rule to estimate the area of this field. So the field has been divided into 8 sections, each of 3 meters wide and of various heights. And what the trapezoidal rule does is finds the sum of the areas of 8 trapezoids. The formula in the tables can look quite complicated to people. It has this notation y0, yn, y1, y2, all the way up to yn minus 1. So it is a good idea to learn the formula in words, or at least to be aware of what all the symbols stand for. So the area is going to be h over 2, the first height, plus the last height, plus the 2 times the sum of the rest of the heights. H stands for the width of the interval, so in this case that's 3. First is obviously the first height, and in our diagram the first height is 4. Last is obviously the last height, and in our diagram that's 8. And then we're going to multiply 2 times the sum of the rest of the heights. So we're going to add all of the rest of the heights together, and we're going to multiply that by 2. So we stick all of those into the formula, and we have 3 over 2. The first height is 4, plus the last height is 8, plus 2 times 5.8 plus 7 plus 6.5 plus 6 plus 4.8 plus 6 plus 6.5. So 3 over 2 is 1.5, 4 and 8 is 12, and then it's going to be 2 times, well, the sum of the rest of the heights was 42.6. I'm going to multiply the 42.6 by the 2 to give me 1.5 on 12 plus 85.2. I'm going to add the 12 and the 85.2 to give me 1.5 times 97.2. And then when I multiply this out, I get that an estimate for the area of the field is 145.8 meters squared. If we take a look at part B of the question, the area of the same field was re-estimated by applying the trapezoidal rule again. This time a different section width was chosen. So this time we've chosen a width of 4 meters, and as a result our heights will be different measurements. The area of the field this time was found to be 145.6 meters squared. And what we have to try and find is, well, what's this missing height here? The first thing I'd do is I'd have a look at it and just give an estimate of it myself, so that when I get an answer in a minute, I can check if that's reasonable. So it's clearly less than the 6 and the 6.2 either side, and it looks to be a little more than the 4. So some answer between 4 and 6 seems to be reasonable. So we write down the trapezoidal rule again, taken from our tables. And again, it's useful to learn this formula in words. H over 2, the first plus the last plus 2 times the rest. H in this case is 4. The first height will be 4. The last height will be 8. And then the sum of the rest of the heights will include this x. So when I sub them into my formula, you can see that we have an x in our formula. But because we're letting this equal to a number, we've formed an equation that we can solve for an x. So as we work down to the sum, we can see that 4 over 2 is 2. 4 plus 8 is 12. We add up all the numbers in the brackets and we get 25.5 plus, of course, our x. The next section of the sum, I'm going to multiply the number outside the brackets 2 by the 25.5 and by the x. So 2 by 25.5 is 51 and 2 by x is 2x. The next part of the sum, I'm going to add the 12 and the 51 together, and 12 and 51 give me 63. Now I'm going to multiply in by my 2 outside of the bracket, so I get 145.6 is equal to 2 by 63 is 126, and 2 by 2x is 4x. I'm going to subtract this 126 from both sides, and I get that 19.6 is equal to 4x. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I end up with x equals to 4.9. And don't forget to put down the meters. If we forget to include the units, we can lose 1 mark.